passes Byron Murphy to the end zone for the touchdown and the win.
One of the ways a wild week 2 in the NFL capped off. Cardinals with a huge comeback down, 20-3. Comeback, send the game to overtime thanks to some Kyler Murray, Michael Vick-esque plays, and defeat the Raiders in overtime on a fumble return, 27-23. Bleacher Seats podcast here, back on a Tuesday to break down week 1. Andy's back with us, so that was one of the crazy plays, and then we also saw Miami game get crazy. How did you watch all this? I mean, were you just sitting at home watching it all?
Oh yeah. Finally got to get back home for some football.
No botched game plans?
No BW3s this week, and this is what we're here for. It's just wild, crazy football games. This is why people love the NFL. Like, the 4 or 5 games this weekend that really showed up on, basically the Richter scale. We got happy fan bases, we got bad fan bases. Like, it was just the real deal NFL, and it's why it's the most entertaining sport. It's why companies are paying billions and billions of dollars
to
get these games on their networks, on their streaming services, and why people are paying money to get their advertisements.
Did you do the Amazon Prime game Thursday night then?
Yeah. I was a big skeptic of streaming games. I never have streamed the game. Always been against it, saying platforms can't support it. I had a good experience.
I thought I did.
I thought you didn't even get the game.
I got it. I was just hesitant because we have crappy internet out here.
So you said that you thought you were going to have to watch it on your phone.
Just because.
You were able to watch it on TV? Or?
Well, just because I thought the internet would lag it too much.
Oh, so how did that work?
I thought it worked really good. I was happy with the presentation and everything.
Did you have any lag?
No.
Any buffering? Or?
I had no buffering or anything, but then Sean texted me at some point and said something about, I forget who scored a touchdown, and he said something, and then he was still like a whole play ahead of me.
Well.
And he said his was even buffering a lot, and mine wasn't.
That's why I never want to watch Steelers games doing it, because I text frequently with Steeler fans during the games, and I can't have them like knowing before, or what if I know before and I ruin it for them. But no problems here, but I did see lots of complaints saying that it didn't hit off for a lot of people.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I had no problems with it.
I honestly thought my picture was clear.
Yes.
Watching it, and I don't know what that means, but maybe these cables.
Yeah.
Get better, but other than that was a good game too.
It was.
LA should have won the game. They threw a pick six, 99 yards. I'd seen earlier in the day, watched some segments on some other shows saying that Kansas City was down some defensive backs, and that Kansas City was going to have a 7th-round draft pick playing, and it was number 35, Watson, and they needed to attack that if they see him in the game. And guess what? He got in the game on that, inside 10-yard line, whatever it was, and he makes the big play of the game. And here we are, everybody's fan favorites to win the AFC West, Chargers. They lost, and here we are. Kansas City's 2-0. Kansas City's
2-0. Without really looking, they look impressive, but at the same time, they had no business winning Thursday. I feel like, obviously Herbert got banged up a little bit, and then
a little bit. He gets slammed down there, and I immediately say, "Oh, that's ribs." Who's going to be taking care of this guy?
Tyrod Taylor's doctor.
Yeah, I
It's still him. He's being sued right now, too.
That's coming out this week that he's suing for malpractice.
Like, how crazy of timing. Like, Tyrod was just at home one day or on Sunday and realized Herbert got hurt and was like, oh, I'm going to sue that doctor now.
Well, and the other thing is he's only suing for $5 million. It sounds like he's only suing for $5 million.
Yeah.
He's going for $20 million. Like, I lost my starting job.
Whatever bonus incentives I could have got.
Poked me in the lung. Like, I might as well have been smoking Camel cigarettes my whole life and my career be over.
Right. And then it impacted his future contracts or any ones that he was going to get. I'm going to have to stop you there for a second, though.
Because we all know what the resume's always been about Tyrod Taylor.
I'm not...
For a while, he's like, oh, you got the best backup quarterback. Then Tyrod Taylor would go to the Browns, and they'd be like, well, he almost took Buffalo to the playoffs, or he did take Buffalo to the playoffs. Here's the Browns, and then he gets hurt, and then Baker comes in. He gets to see the field again. He's always been behind a guy that comes in and makes magic happen, but this guy can play football. Everybody thinks he can play football because when you get this reputation of being hurt and then a doctor punctures your lung, now it's just hurt your reputation even more when it comes to the situation of being hurt. And I think he could get a lot more than $5 million out of it. But
yeah. I'm going to have to stop you right there for 1 second. We have, for the first time, I think, on this podcast, we have some breaking news. I have live. I've traded Aaron Rodgers in my fantasy league.
For?
Jahan Dotson.
Who?
The wide receiver for the Commanders.
Okay.
And James Robinson.
The running back for the Jaguars.
Yes.
Now you have no quarterback.
I am going to easily get one off of waiver wires. I do have I got Kenny Pickett.
You're going to pick Matt Ryan back up?
No, I'm not picking Matt Ryan back up. That ship has sailed.
Well, good luck.
My bet. This was the league I had to make a cutting spree on, so my bench is trash and my running backs are trash. So I'm just trying to... Because, let's be honest, I can get a quarterback off waivers doing what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers is the two-time defending MVP. And
who just lost his best receiver.
He didn't come out hot last year. Well, all right. Well, Devontae Adams had like 12 yards receiving this week.
But he lost 2 of his top 3 receivers from last year. Because remember, Valdez-Scantling's gone too.
Hey, it's your money, not mine. You play free leagues.
No. So I thought I would just trade one player who's not exceeding his value at all for where I drafted him, and get 2 good players, and then get someone off.
But I think with that running back from Jacksonville, like, it'll all come back to earth, and he won't even be in there in like 3 weeks. But hey, whatever you do, I've only won one fantasy championship in my life, and I've been playing for 20 years. So
I think I don't
know anything.
My only win, I think, came in basketball.
Like fantasy basketball?
Yeah.
Those fantasy basketball, fantasy baseball, that stuff don't even matter. Like, those seasons are so long and there's so many games.
Yeah, but it was like
gives up, like, and they don't even pay attention after like the first 3 weeks.
Well, yeah,
because they didn't even pay attention that long.
But all you had to do was set your lineup.
You're probably some like sports man, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna pay attention, and you just paid attention longer than everybody.
It's the same as football.
I won a fantasy baseball league, and I didn't pay attention the whole year.
All you had to do was set your lineup for the week. It was like football.
Who was that guy? Jose
Ramirez?
I don't even know. He just hit home runs, and he played for the Blue Jays. But
Batista.
Jose Batista?
Is that what you're thinking
Is
of?
his name Joey Bats?
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah, well, whatever. Whoever it was, like, I picked some guy guy up. He had like 10 home runs in the first couple weeks of the season. I picked him up, never did anything, and won the league just by this guy bashing home runs. Then he ended up hitting like 400 home runs probably over the next 15 years, but I don't know who the fuck he was. So, yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right, let's make this decision together as a podcast. The top available free agents are Jameis Winston.
No.
Matty Ice.
No. You already got rid of him.
I know. Daniel Jones. Possible.
The best option I heard today, based on some stuff I was talking with Jen about, might be actually Goff.
I was just about to say that.
So, I think that's going to be my 2 cents in this. Unless there's some idiot that has gotten rid of it. Somebody has Garoppolo already, or?
I don't. Someone might have scooped him up. Well, no, waiver wires aren't open until Wednesday, so no one. I'll have to look at that.
Well, I put a waiver in on Jimmy G.
He also plays the
that
Broncos.
goes.
Jimmy G plays the Broncos this week, though.
Yeah, they're great.
I mean, no, they're good. They're okay. How the fact that your fans have to call. We can get back in the NFL now. Sorry. The fact that your fans have to treat it like a college basketball game and count down the shot clock for you or the play clock is embarrassing.
Well, no, I actually have a couple comments about that with this play clock issue, because now that you bring that up, and I watched a couple other games, this play clock issue, I think, like all around. There was a lot of play clock issue in the Steelers game, and not just from the Steelers side of the ball. Mac Jones had multiple delay game penalties. The Steelers had one, I think, and then I was watching. It might have been in the Packers game that I seen another one happen, and
Is it?
I don't think that these. I think they're starting the clock, and the quarterbacks just aren't used to them, resetting the clock so early or something. Like, I don't think that this is a Russell Wilson Denver issue. I think this is a.
Well, it is for me.
Well, I mean, you gotta watch more games.
I know. No, what I was thinking about though, and I know it might be maybe a stretch, but about how play calling has evolved over the years. Are we giving maybe just giving the quarterbacks too much information to digest when they get up to the line of scrimmage about what to do if you? Because
what I don't get is why they reset it to 25. Like, I thought the play clock was supposed to be 35, and I don't know if they made a rule change, but they're starting the clock at 25. When the play's over and they're going to huddle, like, it's already 25 seconds.
Yeah.
To me, but
yeah.
I'm no genius. Like, and I've been watching, but this was the most I've ever seen, and I've watched a lot of NFL games, and not that I pay attention that much, but that it's really getting close, and I almost felt like at times teams were, kind of going to hurry up because they felt like they couldn't get the plays in that they wanted to, so they were like, well, we're just going to go ahead and get them to the line, and then we'll, make the adjustment, because I think the coordinator or whoever can still have Mike in the ear, the quarterback, up to like 16 seconds or something, and they're like, well, then we'll just start doing something else, because like I said, I thought a lot of teams were struggling this weekend to get to the huddle and get to the line without getting delayed games. I've never seen this many delayed games, and they're always lenient too, where like they give you 2 seconds after almost before they call it. So
everyone's trying to always go in motion too. They're just yeah, I agree. I was gonna say,
and if anything, the NFL don't have a speed of play problem.
No,
baseball does or anything like that. So
right.
Or we don't need a shot clock to like speed the play up.
I will say
good plays. So like what you're saying with all the motion and stuff, if anything, they need to expand it so that teams can do these things and create the matchups and actually have the strategic play that football entails, because I think with any sport, like the strategy changes the most in professional football, where like teams are constantly coming up with new ways to beat the system,
right?
Do this, and it really makes people shine and coaches be coaches, and it's the greatest strategy game that you can watch, and that's why people love watching it. So we don't need to be ruining it by getting delayed games.
No, not at all.
Like, oh no, we can't motion anymore. Like, no, save that shit for the NBA. Shot clocks and pitch clocks and all that nonsense in baseball. But the NFL, they need to be able to run these plays and give this product it's billions.
And not just that, also because you have games waiting to start after this, like with very limited time in between for the most part.
And I don't even care if the games last long.
Yeah. That most fans don't, but sometimes when you're in a different area, I could see that. But I do. The Broncos did get a win this weekend, finally.
I think they're all right.
They're not.
In any situation that you're like, they're not doing what I thought they were going to do. They're not. But I think it's just growing pains. Like they're growing with Russell Wilson. Coming off of just having a bum offense for 3-4 years, and they didn't get a lot of work in the preseason.
They didn't get any work really.
Podcast,
yeah.
But they gotta win. They're 1-1. They're gonna be in it if they just sneak out victories now. This offense will come together. Russell get on par with his receivers, and
if they're healthy,
start figuring out what they need to do to win these games.
Yeah, most of it wasn't most of the offense wasn't my problem on Sunday, because I read a stat that they have per average drive, they have the highest yards per drive average. It's just they're not converting once they get inside the 30 in the red zone.
And that was their issue last week. They were turning the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think they're going to figure it out. You still have the Chargers losing how they always lose.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Kansas City's up there. Divisional game, you win how you win. And
Josh McDaniels still can't win in the AFC West.
Well, and I'll get right back to that. But first, going into that Kansas City Chargers game, LA has been playing Kansas City tough. They had 2 games go to overtime that Kansas City won, and then the other 2 games LA had won. So
yeah.
The Chargers have been playing them tough in the last 4, so you knew that 5th game was going to come down to something, and Kansas City was able to make a play, but that just seems to be the MO for the Chargers.
It does.
People are saying do the Chargers have a curse? They're just losing all these games.
It's always been like that. It goes back farther than.
They're saying it's like a Phillip Rivers curse.
I was about to say it goes back to the Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson years.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's Drew Brees curse.
Oh.
Drew Brees curse. They got rid of Drew Brees.
Dang. So you're saying it's like the Babe Ruth curse?
Well, I'm not saying that.
It could be.
I don't think we're saying that.
They've never won a Super Bowl.
But they were losing with Phillip Rivers in the same fashion. So
Yeah, but still.
Drew Brees,
and Dan Fouts.
They ran him out of town. They got Phillip Rivers, and he had 20 kids. And
I can't believe they had Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow, and then Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates.
Yeah, they've had good players, and on top of that, they had Tomlinson,
Mm-hmm.
and they've had
Seau.
decent. Yeah, well, they had Seau. They had decent receivers. They just haven't been able to put it together. When they went 14-2 one year,
They kind of seem. You remember how Georgia was before they won the national title? How it was, Georgia's got a top 5 recruiting class every year. and then they like choke it away somehow. It's kind of like how the Chargers have been the last like 20 years.
Hey, and sometimes it just comes down to a coach, and I don't think the coach that the Chargers have now is bad.
No.
He's willing to go for it. If it ever lines up, they'll win. But you've seen the play where the guy gets the ball thrown to him. The previous play before they throw the interception, he's given the wave. I'm gassed. I need to come off the field.
Yes.
It's like we're running tempo, and the guy's gassed, and he can't even make a play on the ball.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he's young.
Yeah, the Chargers are good. The only thing that worries me is, so Keenan Allen was out. Mike Williams had a huge game, but it was throw it up to Mike Williams or Herbert's throwing it in the backfield or 4 yards downfield.
That's his MO. Like, he leads the league in challenged balls over the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Like, they should have sat during the game to say he had 1,300 yards receiving on contested passes or something. So basically the plays that you're talking about, I guess that's just kind of how they use it. And in that game, the only way you're getting at the ball is if you do that. So it's actually saying more about his ability because they don't have to worry about Keenan Allen. So he's getting all the defense and he's going up and making the plays. And like you said, he had the big game. I mean,
yeah.
Couldn't ask for more out of it.
No,
but
all his passes were jump balls. Oh, Mike Williams is down there. I'm just gonna throw it to him. But I do think he had a huge size advantage too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean he's a tall man. He's a tall man.
So that was one of them. Baltimore and Miami was wild. Did you want to touch on that a little bit? Tua went Well, I want to say Tua went stupid. I don't know how you feel about, I think people are.
I mean, he had 470 yards.
Yeah. But everyone's now on the, pay Tua his respects. You guys were hating. Okay, let's see what he does next.
Let me tell you something. You have to. I mean, yeah, he's got Bill, he's got Waddle. They're making the play, but hey, somebody's got to get the ball. I mean, we're going to talk about a team here later that has a lot of weapons, and they can't even get first downs. So,
we're talking about Ohio State?
I'm talking about this for Steelers.
I made you lose your thought.
They got a coach. Dolphins have a coach.
I do think they have a coach. I do. The one thing here, the reason I'm not saying I'm pumping the brakes hard on the Tua overhype. I just want to see more happen with it after this.
Well, and I would, and you're right. I mean, it's a game. I mean,
I don't know why NFL.
We're getting into this time. It's this is Tua time. It's a prove-it year for him. So everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. Well, week 1 they play the Patriots, so they win 21-7. Yeah, everybody's Tua, he's 4-0 against Bill Belichick, but he never had to play Bill Belichick with great.
There's going to be a huge difference in that.
That's a good win. That's a good way to start it off. Now, what I would feel differently if Tua had this game and they won the game, 42-7, I would have the same opinion as you have. It's pump the brakes. But this guy brought him back.
He did.
This was they're down and out. I mean, they're down 35 in the game.
But look at.
And he does this, and it's not like they were playing the Giants. They were playing the Baltimore Ravens.
But I know for a fact you had one blown coverage, and then the NFL, I don't know why they're terrible at it, because the Browns did on Sunday too. Prevent defense. Yes, it's good, but at some point, it's good on 10 seconds left or something, but every year we see teams go into these prevent defenses and blow leads.
Well, at some point when you're the Ravens on Sunday, you get scared. You get scared to where now we're in this position when we used to be in this other position. 45 minutes ago where we didn't even have a chance to
Right.
lose, and now we're here. Now we get nervous. Now we're trying not to lose. So then teams just start thinking like, oh, we're not playing to win anymore. We're playing not to lose because we don't want to be embarrassed. And you got to remember, these are humans playing this game. These are humans coaching these games. And there's millions of dollars on the line. I lose my job over it. And they're making, when you start getting conservative or thinking like, oh, if I do this, no. They stop playing the game and they start worrying about real life things. And that's when things get crazy. And the Dolphins were able to, take advantage of the situation. And like I said, I love that coach. If the Steelers ever get rid of Mike Tomlin, I want that guy. He's so funny. Why I keep calling him that guy is because I can't remember his name.
I forget his name too.
And he's hilarious. And
He is a funny guy.
I hope the Dolphins get on in-season Hard Knocks if they do that.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Yeah,
He's great.
well, and then you got Tyreek Hill there too, who's been running his mouth all off season too. So that would be good.
And I think him and Waddle had like 400 yards receiving combined.
Waddle went off in the first half, yeah.
But if he's only throwing it to those two guys, I mean, you can't stop them both. So, I mean, it's to be determined. Like, yeah, I'm pumping the brakes. Like, it's not the biggest win of all time because I think Buffalo is probably going to win the division.
But it's a statement win.
What's that?
It's definitely a statement win.
Well, I mean, it's a statement win if you're playing the Chicago Bears and you come back from 40 points. Like they did
Debatable.
it viable. Like Lamar Jackson probably had the second best game of any quarterback
Right.
of the weekend, and Tua outdueled him. And at some point in time in your career, you're gonna have to do stuff like that. And
I agree.
it makes for an interesting next couple weeks to see how all that pans out, to see if it's flash in the pan or can they continue on to make these strides that they're really showing. Because I want to play a Dolphin right now.
Yeah, they definitely have the talent that if Tua plays even keel,
We'll see how that plays though when they have to go to Buffalo.
Yeah, we'll see.
In November or whatever it's
Right.
going to be, when you don't have that sunshine and that speed isn't as fast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was
Those muscles get a little frizz.
that was kind of just a summer. Like the week 2 was actually just insane. A lot of fancy duds, a lot of fancy hits, but as far as I know, a lot of people probably lost money this weekend on betting odds, but week 2 was crazy. Week 3 usually is like when we start seeing teams settle in. So we're going to see who kind of repeats performances.
I don't want to move on to that yet. I wanted to talk about Kyler Murray
Oh, yes.
putting that win in against the Raiders.
Mike Vick-esque looking.
He was it's 23. Yes, 23-15.
Oh, you talking about the 2-point conversion now?
Well, yes, 23-15.
Yeah.
Murray, it's like 4th down and 4. Murray is just running for his life. He's just running back like 20 yards. Looks like he's going to get sacks. Runs back more. Ends up throwing it. Incomplete. They call a hold.
Yes.
They get that first down. He gets a 4th and goal. He runs it in. The 2-point conversion. He's running around again. Somehow drops a diamond to AJ Green.
Yeah, that was an insane thing. And then the fumble recovery.
And then Renfro in overtime fumbles it. The Raiders recover it. The next play, throw it to Renfro. Fumbles. Murphy up the sideline. Win.
Game over.
Now we got to sit around for 10 minutes to watch for a replay.
Oh, yeah.
Almost like they thought he may have thrown it out of his hand before he gets caught.
What was it?
These guys keep doing that.
0.02 seconds.
just carry that thing in.
Right.
Like, it just. And you want to save that ball, don't you?
It was like, I think they said the metrics were like 0.02 seconds away from being a touchback.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I heard he was saying, it's like, well, I already see the touchdown signal go up. Well, guess what? That doesn't matter.
Right. That's reviewable.
Guess what? I see the fucking referee say it's a completed pass or an incomplete pass, and then they go to the review, and it's total opposite. So
The referee throwing...
If you want to go rely on some old guy officiating the game, like, that's not going to happen. Just keep that ball.
Right. Well, the referee part is even worse because that means if the referee's already sitting on a touchdown, that means it's automatically reviewable.
And then they were talking about, like, maybe, like, a fan, like, trying to punch him. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was right. I mean...
to me, it just looked like it was, like, an Arizona fan, like, trying to give, like, you know, shoulder pad fucking pop. And, you know, everything's just going crazy. But
I know.
this is a little touch I wanted because I thought, like, that was the Raiders, I think they're in trouble.
Do you want?
They're 0-2 now. Like,
Is this the beginning of the? Sorry. Go ahead. Is this the beginning of the end of the Josh McDaniels head coaching career?
If it is, it's not. I mean, he's going to get more than 1 year.
He might.
Mark
Oh,
Davis doesn't even know they lost. He's too busy over there partying with the Aces.
eating chicken wings.
WNBA
I know.
Is there any sport that tries to make their fans or make a game less watchable than the WNBA? When they got their finals going on, they play a game on Thursday, and then the next game is until Sunday at like 4:00.
Man, the NBA does that stuff too in the finals.
Let's put the WNBA finals up against the NFL. Like NASCAR doesn't even want to go against the NFL anymore.
Right.
Went to like the Saturday race. They're like, we got a better chance of people watching us over college football than we do the NFL. Like, but
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't want to get into that because I just get in trouble. But
Why?
I do think the Raiders are in trouble because of the division they're playing in. Starting out 0-2 is not gonna fare well from them. And then what? That's 0-1 in the division because they lost to the Chargers.
Yes.
First week, right. So it's not looking good for them.
No, not at all.
I don't think it means like Josh McDaniels can't coach in the NFL. But I tell you this, you got to win that game. But hey, you didn't tell the guy to fumble either. So
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, they're driving the ball. So
Yeah. That.
they could have just as easily won the game if his players performed. So
I agree. That was. Man, there was just some good games on Sunday. I was under the weather. I didn't wake up till 12:40 on Sunday.
oh, what you're still celebrating that Michigan win over UConn or what?
Hey, it was a good game. They looked good.
It's always good when
I
you
know.
play
Hey.
under talented teams and win by a bunch.
No, it's just always.
State was up 70 on Toledo.
I know.
You talking shit?
No, you brought it up.
I'm just saying.
Hey, it's always good when you put a one in the win column.
You guys have had a hell of a preseason.
We get Tua's little brother on Saturday.
Oh, Maryland.
Yeah,
Are they still undefeated?
yeah.
All right.
Tua's little brother.
Starts losing, by the way.
Tua's little brother. He actually.
He's had a couple good runs to start out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of died out once he gets
He-
the big guns.
He's very hit or miss.
Well, we got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah. Speaking of college, though, I really think there's like no good games this weekend.
Well, I mean, you're into that time where now some of the stuff's,
Right.
out. Some of the rankings, like some of the teams that were rated high, like Notre Dame finally got on the win column, but
Barely.
so like
That I didn't think they were gonna do that.
some of those early games that you thought were big aren't as big anymore. Everybody's settled in.
What's crazy?
Alabama's played all the cupcakes. They'll start getting into their SEC schedule, and you're probably not going to see some good games for a while because now it's conference play, and there can only be so many good teams in the conferences, and
Yeah, I know, but
you kind of got to wait it out. Like anybody, so it's kind of like, oh, they're playing Wisconsin this week. That might be a good game, but
Yeah.
Wisconsin ain't really what they used to be, and Ohio State's a lot better than they used to be because Wisconsin and Ohio State used to be a barn burners, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I'm working 1 to 9, so I might not even watch the game. So.
The one thing we talked about over the weekend is I was shocked that Michigan State was 3.5 point underdogs or something at Washington. You're so dead on with your response. I didn't even respond to it.
Well, like I said,
Vegas knows.
The point spreads, the guys in Vegas that are making these, they know. They know. And somehow they know. And sometimes you can beat them, but
yeah.
A lot of times they're just dead on. And then when that happened, when I woke up on Sunday, I was like, well, the Steelers have lost because the Steelers were 2.5 underdogs at home. And I was like, yep, here we go again. Like, they know something. And I don't know if they know that the Steelers are going to muff a punt and lose a game over it. But somehow they know, and New England won by 3.
I know. Well, I mean, at least it was close. Like, Michigan State went up there and got blown out.
Well,
I know you have to factor in.
It was surprising. I don't know anything about Washington.
They weren't ranked.
The only thing I know about Washington is they made the playoffs one year and got spanked.
Right. But yeah, that's what.
I heard of Washington.
That's why I was shocked. I was like, I know usually home teams get a couple points in their favor because they're the home team. I know it's a far flight.
But you know what? We see the same thing in week 1 of the NFL when Buffalo went out to LA and they were the favorites playing the Super Bowl champs. And
right.
They smoked them 31-10. So,
and that's why I'm like these flights are nothing.
The odds makers are banking right now. Like, they're making the hay.
Yeah.
So.
And I know these flights aren't taxing for these, well, I don't know. Michigan State might not be flying. They might be flying regular commercial. They ain't got it like that.
These days, I don't know if anybody's struggling. The way they're left their money around at these programs now.
Well, Michigan State, they just gave all that money to that coach. I think they just resigned that coach. Or not resigned him, but redid his contract. But that was literally the only interesting thing that happened in college football this weekend. So.
Well, no, did you? And I don't know.
Oh, App State.
Weekend, but this video came up of this guy like breaking his leg in the bone.
Oh yeah, that was like the Paul George one. That Paul George one was disgusting.
So.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really too exciting.
It looks exciting, but probably got more views than.
Oh, absolutely. Like if he could get like revenue off of the YouTube streams that video is doing right now.
Oh yeah, I watched it 10 times.
Don't you get
just showing it to people? So
if it's your video, don't you get money for like every million views it hits?
I don't know how all that works.
Yeah. Do you want to jump into the Thursday night storyline coming up?
Well, I mean, we kind of need to get into a little bit
Yeah.
of the Sunday storylines.
Sunday.
I mean, I'll start a little bit with first off with the Steelers that not good on offense. This team is actually pretty good if they could figure out a way. Like I said, to possess the football, they can't. Their defense is on the field way too much, but still dominate. They still had a dominating performance, even though T.J. Watt didn't play. They gave up 17, but they didn't really give up 17 because one came after a muff punt.
Right.
Their defense, I think, has given up 4 touchdowns maybe this year. They're playing great. They didn't get sacks, but they got enough pressure. Mac Jones sucked. The Patriots sucked. But the Steelers just suck more because their offense is just dried up. There's a drought in the 3 rivers of Pittsburgh.
Oh, man. Is there
so much
trouble in Yinzerland?
What's that?
Trouble in Yinzerland?
Yeah, it just seems to me, hearing the Steelers Steelers players talk that this is probably
Oh yeah,
a
yes.
coordinator thing. Like they're saying like, hey, we're just running the plays and
So
they're telling us to do. I mean, they got 3rd down and 8s, 3rd down and 4s. They're not throwing the ball to the sticks. Like,
so I have 2 questions off of that. Then
okay,
depends on how you want to answer them. But
well, give me one.
okay, so is it a Matt Canada issue or is it a not belief in the quarterback issue?
Well, originally I was thinking like maybe Trubisky's just afraid to, throw the ball down the field.
Which he's not known to be that type of quarterback on the regular. He's more of a take the safer route at times.
Then I started thinking about it, and I thought that this was the same things I was hearing when he was in Chicago, and it was just like Nagy didn't have confidence in him, or and stuff like that. Like, at some point in time, you gotta let the dog eat.
It's almost like it's the exact same offense as last year with Roethlisberger.
And that's what I'm getting into, and that's why, like, after hearing some of, Claypool and Deontay Johnson, and then talk, it's like I think this is a Matt Canada issue.
Freiermuth had a good quote too.
What's that?
Freiermuth had a great quote too about going no huddle and stuff.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes that was what made Big Ben great. Is like mixing it up and giving yourself an advantage because you got a personnel in, you got a momentum, and you go. But we're just playing, basically, we're not going to turn it over, and we're just going to let our defense die out there trying to stop, and they are.
So you're on the Matt Canada more than Trubisky?
Yeah.
So here's my thing then.
If this is what we're going to do, I think you just put Pickett in there because he can do the same thing. And
Okay.
At least he's going to get to see the speed of the NFL game. Like, if we are going to get out there and run an offense that's going to try to win games, then there's just no point of doing anything.
I think that's what the caution.
I would rather than throw 20 interceptions and actually try to push the ball down the field than to never attempt a pass down the field.
I don't know if they're worried about that. I think they're more worried about what if, because let's be honest, that O-line's not good.
No, and that's the other thing is I don't want to hear about the O-line. The O-line has played good enough. Like, they got sacked 3 times. They're rolling Trubisky out almost half the passes they even throw. Like, he's rolling away from the pressure. What the thing is like when he's rolling out, they're not even doing anything down the field to create, like, big plays. So he's rolling out just for them to throw, like, a 5-yard pass. So they get the concept that the line sucks, but they don't have any good concepts down the field. Let me tell you something. The Bengals are still trying to throw the ball down the field, and Joe Burrow's got sacked 13 times.
Well, yeah.
That's actually a guy that you need to protect.
Right.
Okay? If the Steelers don't protect Mitch Trubisky and he gets hurt, nobody's going to lose any.
No. That's not.
If you were watching the game on Sunday, the fans are cheering for Pickett.
It's not.
Because he is constantly going 3 and out or 6 and out if you want to count it, and they get a first down if they're lucky enough once in a while.
That's not. That's actually not where I was heading with that. But speaking of the fans, though, it did sound like a goddamn South Park episode over there.
Well, no, that'd be Getty's Day.
Yeah, but no,
They might be saying that next year.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I wonder if that's part of the caution with them is they're worried about getting him him having some type of freak severe injury in a wasted year like this.
No, because it doesn't matter. Because if it's a wasted year, it's a wasted year. Guess what? They're saying there's 6 quarterbacks that'll probably go in the top 20 next year. So what if he gets hurt? You're gonna win one game playing like the way they are? They'll be Pickett. They can just pick another quarterback.
Well, luckily for you guys, you get another dysfunctional team this Thursday. with the Cleveland Browns, so that'll be.
They did the only thing that the Cleveland Browns can do.
I don't know. I don't know where to start with this game.
13 points with a minute and a half left.
Right. And and the last time that happened was
Cleveland Browns in 2001 against the Chicago Bears.
And follow-up bonus question. Who did they play the week after the Bears?
I'm guessing you're going to tell me it was the Steelers.
It sure was. And they lost in overtime.
All right, so you're telling me it's going to go to overtime Thursday night.
The odds are in your favor, technically. History is on your side.
Chance to lose again.
History is on your side.
I don't have much to say.
I've got a lot.
Except for the Minka Fitzpatrick is
A boss.
Again, turnover machine. Watt's been out. We can't sack like we did, but we still got the pressure.
The offense, the defensive line wasn't terrible. I don't think it was bad at all.
I'm just going to get straight to it. If the Browns get their heads out of their asses, they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to get straight to it, too. People have been saying that for 20-some years now.
Run Kareem Hunt every play.
That's all they had to do last year.
The Steelers are still tired from Sunday.
Well, the Browns do have a lot of injuries.
Watching the end of the game on Sunday, the Steelers are down 17-14. They have to punt the ball and give it to New England at the 50-yard line. The defense comes out, 3 and out, forces a punt, gets another, okay, we're going to run our offense, 3 plays, punt it again. So, great field position again for New England. They stop them, punt it, Steelers go 3 and out. That third time New England got the ball, they just ran it every time and smashed them because the defense has been on the field for 40 of the last 45 minutes.
Right.
So they're still going to be tired. They're beat up. If the Browns just run the ball, they're going to win the game.
Yeah. So to touch on the Browns, I'm trying to figure out where I want to start with them this week because
I want to start with this. Why are the Browns fans so mad?
that's where I want to. Mad.
Browns fans mad. So I'm hearing they're throwing bottles at Jimmy Haslam.
Jimmy did. Someone was arrested for that.
I didn't see a video of it or anything.
I did.
They were directly thrown at him, or they were just doing the Cleveland thing where when they're mad, they throw shit on the field and make it so they got to change the rules, and now we're going to make plastic bottle beer because, you see, I don't know.
It could have been both. Could have been both.
When they played the Jaguars,
yeah.
they got mad about a replay. And
yes.
They just had to end the game. They were like 19 seconds, and they're like, "Oh, we're done."
It could have. It could have been.
But nonetheless, what also I didn't know was the way they lost this game. Are they mad enough at Jimmy Haslam for getting rid of Baker? Are they really that mad that they signed a rapist?
I think this is like.
Quarterback? Is this the first time they have an opportunity to speak that? I mean, we know that this is the way the Browns fans like that. And I'm not saying that this is how all Browns fans act.
No.
I will say, when I see the behavior that they put on TV, that I don't see this on TV from other teams.
No, and then mixed with the tailgate picture I sent you on Sunday too.
Oh yeah.
And then there was another.
Yeah, I just don't know, and this is why I have to put stupidity in front of the Browns fans saying, "Hey, you got Deshaun Watson, and he's suspended for 12 games. Why are you going to your tailgate, bringing attention to the situation?
Right.
Just let that go, and just get into next year and let it all go away."
It's everyone. I saw another picture.
It's different to me if they were like protesting against it, but when they're saying, "Oh, happy endings aren't illegal," well,
right.
Guess what? They are.
That's called prostitution.
Yeah. So.
And then there was another fan. There was two fans. It was actually a husband. I don't know if it was a husband and wife, but it was a guy and a girl. They both had jerseys on, number 4 jerseys. One said Rubber and one said Tugger. And I'm just like, why? And then people throwing bottles at the owner, whether it was intended or not intended for him. You still threw a bottle onto the field because you're mad.
See, this is what happens when you give alcohol to 14-year-olds.
And that is the thing. Like, I understand it was a beautiful day up here, so Muni Lot was jumping.
You want your quarterback to represent your fan base. Well, no, that's why they like Baker, because the team said he was immature. The fans are immature.
Right.
It's like, oh, you get one winning season, and then you think you know how to be NFL
entitled.
fans.
Yeah.
No, you guys haven't even graduated from being high schoolers.
I know it was a nice day. I'm sure Muni Lot was the place to be as always.
Well,
so the boys were buzzing.
On the radio saying that they get to the Muni Lot this early and blah blah blah, and they do get to have the opinion. And I don't know, Miles Garett was saying whatever he was saying.
I felt he was wrong in that.
What did he say?
So he said he was disappointed in the fans for booing, and he doesn't want them to give up on him this early in the season. I don't think it had anything to do with them giving. They're never. If we have learned one thing from Browns fans, they are not giving up on you right now.
But here's the thing: when it's coaching, you don't boo. When the players are not performing, you boo.
The players did not perform.
I don't think that the Browns lost that game because of what the players did.
Oh, I do.
I don't. I mean, you could easily say, like, Chubb can go down, they can run the clock out and win. But at the same time, like, you're supposed to be up 14
What?
with 2 minutes to go, and you should be able to win. How
What?
the coaches
Go ahead.
didn't make them win that game? Why are they leaving a guy wide open so that they can score in like 30 seconds?
Denzel Ward said that wasn't his fault, by the way.
Do you think that that's the player's fault?
I
don't know.
do, because they're talking about coverages, and they say they don't want to blame each other, but they're kind of been blaming each other.
Well then, you know what, boo. I mean, you know what?
Here's my thing.
Boo. That's the only thing they've been good at.
What's the job as a coach? Like, you're a head coach. What's your job?
I mean, I guess if I'm Stefanski...
No, you're not a single coach. You're not anyone in particular. You're just a coach. What is your job for your team?
Put your players in a position to win the game.
Okay, up 13 with 2 minutes left. Did you put your team in position to win the game?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
All right.
what you're saying is the kicker, this is the extra point.
A combination of players.
Fumbled the kick.
Even
And they blew the coverage.
Amari
Right. You know what? The fans should boo.
Amari Cooper said he should have went after that ball instead of worrying about getting hurt. I don't know if he said worry about getting hurt, but he said he should have made more of an attempt to go off.
Dad, I would have cut him.
He said I'm not going to say said instead of getting hurt, he said he needed to make a better attempt of putting his body out there. But then you had Denzel Ward saying, like, that's not my coverage. But then the coordinator relays in the signal to the defensive player, and they relay the signal across the backfield. So if three of the...
I don't know. All I know is it had happened like 1,200 games. So
Right.
the Browns blew it.
My thing is...
Like I said, I have the Browns, and I hate to sound confident in it because they probably do something to fuck it up, but
Yeah.
the Steelers' offense is so bad.
Oh, I know.
No, and I'm not saying like it's the whole offense. It's just they don't know what their identity is. They don't know what to do. But if they don't open it up, there.
Yeah. I agree.
There's something they can't do. Like, if they're willing to take some chances and let it fly out there, they might be the best offense in the league.
That's my other thing. Also, can we talk about how that's probably the best? I mean, who knows? It might happen again. But when you sign Jacoby Brissett to be and know he's going to probably be your starting quarterback, is not the best performance you could hope for from him?
Oh yeah, I mean that's what you want all day. If your quarterback get you to 30 points,
yes.
However it happens, you have a good chance to win the NFL.
So to blow that too, and we haven't even talked about it, was to Joe Flacco.
Yeah, well, I mean Joe Flacco's probably had a good run.
And that's
AFC North.
Well, he has, and
so the Browns.
And that's why I think.
Beat them. And hey, what have we said from the beginning of this podcast? Somehow the Browns figured out how to beat the Browns, and I haven't heard a single person ask me this week if the Steelers won or lost. The only thing people have said to me is, "Wow, the Browns were the Browns." Or the
right.
Browns. Like, that's all they say. That's all they ever see. And I don't feel bad for it. Like,
and that's why
I was like, oh, I'm glad the Browns lost. I don't have to hear shit. I was on vacation last week. I hadn't been to work since the Steelers pulled off their miracle in Cincinnati.
True.
And then I was like, God, damn, they lost. Oh, now the Browns lost. I was like, oh, nobody's even going to say shit to me about it. So it's been, I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah, that's why.
They have a better chance to get it right. I know you were mentioning earlier about them having the injuries, and I've heard that it could be a possibility that Garett might not even play.
He did not practice today. I know that. I know Clowney's already out.
Duties, which, like I said,
doesn't mean much.
Defense really don't have to do much to stop this offense. Like,
well, also a short week. Like, what doesn't surprise me that someone like him doesn't practice. You know.
Well, and that's some people have been asking me about, like, oh, are they going to get a ticket? And I was like, well, they're definitely not going to get a ticket.
No.
If they do, it'd be after this game.
You better expect the same. Expect the same offensive kind of style play calling as you saw last week, because there's no time to change anything.
If they want to know where they're at with Trubisky, they gotta let it fly.
The best change that they could probably happen in a short week for you guys is maybe they expand their 2-minute play calling a little bit.
Well, yeah, because this is what they got the book on us right now, and this is a short week. Maybe we should high fly some passes this week and maybe get them on something.
I could see that. I mean, get Kenny Pickett involved, or not Kenny Pickett. Pickens, yes, George Pickens. Training camp hype of the century does not have a catch until halfway through the second quarter.
Occupying a roster spot on my fantasy team.
My gosh.
He probably got 2 catches.
I know he didn't have one until halfway through the second quarter.
He didn't even attempt to throw it.
No. I think we're gonna wrap that up with this episode. We'll get into it. I guess. So you have the Browns winning Thursday night prediction.
Yeah.
Browns winning. Okay. Score?
What do you got?
24-10 Browns.
That might not be a bad. I got. I got Chubb for 150. Just because I think.
I don't think that means much.
35 times.
Last week, all his touchdowns last week were, 12 yards or less? So I don't know if it means much if he gets over 150. It's just how many touchdowns he gets. Honestly, it depends on what percent we get.
They're just going to, if they know what they're doing, they'll just pound it.
They should. Oh, sorry. One last thing I never asked you. Are you sold on Najee Harris?
I mean, he hasn't even been able to get out of the garage, so it's not anything he can help.
I'm saving my response until after this game, because this game will tell me a lot of how what I'm seeing in him versus what I think is happening.
I mean, I did have a moment last week that like they bring this other guy in. He seems to be able to get yards.
Yeah, I forget what his name is.
Maybe he's a little, like, Najee's, like, hesitant to, like, hit the hole sometimes, but, like, I feel like if he was playing behind an actual line, that what he's doing wouldn't be negative, but what he's doing with the Steeler line, it is, and I just really wish he had a chance to play behind a good line. Like, we're not giving him
I agree.
an opportunity to actually showcase his abilities. Like, the other guy, like, he's like, oh, I'm barely making the NFL. Like, I just gotta
Game check.
go.
That's it.
Najee's just trying to, make plays, and he does fight for yards and gets some extra yards when we need it. Like, I can't get a real assessment on him until I see him play with a real team and a real quarterback that can make plays. And they got to open up the offense, because when you only have to guard 10 yards of the field, like, it's kind of hard for him to be able to run.
No, I agree.
So,
Yeah, we'll see what happens Thursday. We're going to wrap this episode up before we turn into Joe Rogan. Follow us on Twitter at BC's Podcast, Instagram, Bleacher_Seats_podcast. That's a wrap. See you next Tuesday, unless we get together this weekend and drop something before then.